we shouldn't come to youth service and think like we are in on a Sunday service. There need to be difference. So when you attend the youth service, you must feel this was run by people with energy. You must feel the vibe and the mood in the service that I know, even if a visitor came, they will say, I want to go back next week for that service. And not only youth that is relevant in terms of national significance, but a youth that are lively, a youth that are revived. Church growth, it's swollen, or it needs to swell at the stage of youth. Actually, we need to refuse as youth. We can't be in a church and find that there are a lot of elderly people. Why? Because they don't have energy like we have. We can't be youth and find that we have got more Sunday school than youth. Why? They are not yet socially interactive and active as we are. So that means as youth, we need to be the biggest group of the church. Why? We can relate quicker, we have got friends, we are on social media, we can use all our influence to bring the people because we are revived, we are not like dead people. And that is why our youth service must be characterized by life. And when you enter here, you must not mistake. Sunday understand. So let me just slow lebra Sunday. But ka youth service kin twetsare. Yeah, so under better lo jona lead visitor they understand lori remolaini. You understand? Yeah, but over there Friday evening palaki Sunday. Then we are not acting as a people that are revived. And thirdly, our youth need to be impactful, ladies and gentlemen. So something impactful, you cannot deny its presence. If something makes impact, everybody will know about it. Why? Because it has got impact. And that is where we are going. Youth is the future of everything. There is no God's throne for all nation church without the youth. There is no next president in general without active youth. The people that were children in 1976 are today leaders in government. But in that time they were children. And therefore, this zone of youth is very, very important that you should not misuse it. It comes once. And hey, fitted, you will never get back to it again. So that means when you have got this moment of being called youth or lively or revived or impactful, you really need to make sure you build your name for God. And of course you can build a name negatively and you can build a name positively. It just depends with how you use the energy that God has given to you. And you are the future of this church. Let me pass this. And come here. So our approach to youth ministry suggests the following. One, it says, all of you boardroom conquerors, all of you, and we are talking about senior people irrespective of your age, that have achieved something in life, in any sphere and area, we are calling on you. We say, us who are still coming, we need your experience. We need your tools that you use to conquer boardrooms. Some of us, we don't even know how to register a company, but you are running 7 successful companies. So we're saying, let there be a bridge between you, social bureaucrats, people that conquer boardrooms, people that have got credentials. Our youth, for it to be what it needs to be, it needs your support and your input. You see, it is very easy to sit. Let me give an analogy about a soccer match. If you are not playing the game and you are not involved, you can so quickly blame the players and say, you should have just trapped it and push it like this. Let them give you a moment to play. You will realize what you were thinking. It is not as easy as you can just do. But if we can be involved into our youth and really passionately be part of what they're doing, we bring ideas. Because you need to understand, we are dealing with human engineering. We are dealing with human development. And the reason we will still, as a body of Christ, produce youth that don't have impact, relevance, and significance, it is because those that God has helped, what happens? They then distance themselves from youth because they feel they are no longer classified as youth. But imagine if those people that God has helped to overcome different social ills and challenges, if they were to come and say, but guys, my input in this field is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will all, as youth, be what? We will all become achievers like them that achieved, isn't it? We will all become winners like them that won. We will all become champion because we are trained and impacted by champions. So we therefore call on all of us, check your program on Friday. If there's really nothing major that demands your attention, come join us. I once attended a youth service of a church in Pretoria East, Sunday evening. You find the 60-year-old, the gray hairs, people of age being with the younger ones. Because this thing, it is transferred from generation to another generation. But if we can all withdraw and say, our youth are weak, our youth are what? And we blame. Tomorrow, we have got a church that master blames and nothing. So it calls on all of us to really be here and passionate in imparting our experiences, challenges, how we overcame, and all those kind of things. And when that all is done, our finished product will be characterized by 7 things. This phase where we are in life, it comes once. Please enjoy it and build the remainder of the years of your life in this phase. But this phase of youth is very critical, that if you mess up life here, the remainder of where you're going in this life on earth might be affected by the decision you made as a young person. Their decision, this is a very critical stage. All the people that are now ranking billionaires, they builded that in this phase. All the people that are chairpersons of big corporates, they builded that at this stage. All the people that we know all over the world, the Lionel Messi's, our Mandelas. What made Mandela was the activities that he began at this phase, the choice that he made at this phase. Talk about anyone. The people that know Murtira Lamola, they knew him in the days of, as a young man, used by God, miracles happening everywhere. Today, even if no miracle happened, people are no longer worried. But what he did as a young man, it gave him a name up until today. Brothers and sisters, may God give you wisdom to manage this phase of life wisely. I'm telling you, we are being made and we are being destroyed in this phase of life. Whatever we become tomorrow, it doesn't need a prophet to tell what it will be. If we look at you, how you are at a youth zone, when we find you as a chairperson of a big corporate, we will not be surprised, because in the days of your youth, I'll show about us. In our group, I think all the people that formed our group, they are pastors. How did you know them when we were youth? When all other people went to do other things, you'll always find us in church praying. You'll always find us in church interpreting scriptures. You'll always find us around where is revival. Taking a taxi from here, go to Haman's Grab to attend the revival. Finish. I remember one day I was with Matemba. Matemba, the tall person in the church. There is one tall person in the church. Yeah, just look on Sunday. Somebody taller than all of them. His name is Matemba. There was a Kobus van Rensburg. How many of you know Kobus van Rensburg? He's late now. He passed away a few years, maybe 5-10 years back. Somewhere there. He had a revival. He was doing miracles and what. And we were staying in town. So he had arena, the Hartfeld Arena, next to the soldier places there. So we walked from Arcadia to Hartfeld Arena and come back 2 a.m. We were not even thinking that they will step through, because there was a hunger of revival of something of God. And I can tell you, anyone who is now, we can tell what you are becoming tomorrow. There will be not major differences in that which you will be tomorrow. It all starts while you are still here. So these are the 7 things that we want to look at. This will define our finished product when we say this is a youth that we are all proud of. Number 1, our finished product youth, and this is a challenge to all youth leadership in different structures. Number 1, our programs need to talk to a youth that is economically participating. So when we say God's throne has worked and this is our product, we need, whether male or female, there need to be tools that empower our youth to participate in the economy, whether formally or informally, whether in business or through career or in any way. So we are not producing somebody that will be sleeping on the street homeless. We are building somebody who will take people from the street and give them shelter, because they will be trained how to participate in the economy. So that automatically influences our programs. That means the programs and services that we have, somewhere, somehow, we must find something that talks about a youth from GT Fair who is economically involved. Number 2, we need a youth that is socially relevant and relationally sound. I don't know if you saw a video that was making rounds on social media this week. They were saying this is how the pastors order pizza. Did you see that one? Yes. They said this is how pastors order pizza. Yeah. You saw it, no? But you didn't see it. Oh, you saw it? Well. So they say this is so. This guy is I think he's a pastor from Swaziland. He's making jokes about how pastors will order the pizza. Because you see, pastors, even our young pastors that are growing in youth, I challenge you, be socially relevant. Don't go to mall with kicking bobos and what do you call that wood? What do you call it? Brentwood. I mean, you find a 21-year-old brother who's going to meet a date. Let that black and white Crockett and Jones. Yes, with a formal shirt, going to meet a date in the middle lane. Have it our sister Wafita. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord. So come on, we need brothers that are socially relevant. I mean, come on. At this age, I was a paramoka. But a 21-year-old young man of God in the church. All glory to the name of Jesus. You see, I saw a vision. And in the vision, I was thinking about marriage. And when your picture came, I knew the Lord is talking. So we need, be socially relevant. Oscar proposal that verse. Amen. That is why our sisters will leave our brothers to go with the people in the world. Because of social relevance. If you were not going to say, well, Amen. One day I was meeting a young man in a restaurant. So I was putting on a shot, and then I arrived first with a shot. A young man, and he's coming. And this guy is putting on a tie. He's putting on what you call waistcoat. And I said, did you start at a funeral before you come here? Or what? He said, no, I'm coming to meet you. And I said, why are you dressing like you're going to church? It's because we are socially disconnected. So we need a young people, both girls and boys, that are socially relevant and connected. Relationally sound. The ability, youth leaders, teach your people just the ability to have a conversation without quoting a verse. Amen. Talk normally without quoting a verse. There are a lot of things that are happening as current affairs. Teach them how to just have a conversation, without mentioning the name of Jesus. Just have a normal conversation. That's kind of a person that we want. Somebody that is, you should not appear as an image of a pastor. You walk in town, you can tell this one comes along, this one has himself, this one comes along, this one has himself. It's actually baby. Walking, you can tell what comes along, what's himself. It shouldn't be like that. So we need to produce a people that can socially connect and relationally be sound. Those are the kind of people that we need to have. And we will be so happy with. So we're going to have people that are spiritually impactful. and maritally functional. You see, people that get married, they come from youth. It's only few people, maybe less than 10% of people that get married post-youth days. You know, I mean, if you think about it, most people get married in the phase between 20 and 35, somewhere. Most people get there. It could be one or two that can say, I married at 44, at 50, at what. There are very few. But majority of weddings that you attend, it's in that thing. So, we shouldn't be marrying you today, and after 3 years we come back and we say, no, sorry man, it was a mistake. I'm looking again. Why? Because we did not deal with the social element. And this is the danger in the church, because you married a gift. You know, you saw somebody that was praying, very strong, and you married that ability to pray. But that person can't relate socially. Conversation. I mean, even if you can go like Ukraine, like when Ukraine, I'll give us man. I mean, those are current affairs. Ukraine will give us man. And those are the let's say the challenges as a church. Relevant. And the reason we need to be that relevant is because from social interaction, you know, the ability to connect and talk with the people and all, we're going to produce marriages. And those marriages need to be functional. And you know, when we sit here, looking at all the marriages that, there is a chair here, in front. There is a chair here. Yeah, mobile, I brought what the senior citizen. Mobile. Thank you for coming. You know, we appreciate to be having people of wisdom who walked through life. So that manyalo are not to producer, are manyalo alone we can be proud of. Le barile ba o kgethile ba re o tla ema mo pele wa emela lehatong la youth in that day. We have confidence because you are not talking for a person that tomorrow will hear his back or she's back. You know that we have worked. The picture is solid. We are not looking only to produce a youth that his vision is going to heaven after 72 years. But 71 years that he will be existing on earth, he is irrelevant. He can't do anything. He doesn't have impact. He's socially disconnected. He can't relate to people. Lena, you don't know neighbors. Oh, praise the Lord! Musa. You know? And okay, no, let's read. Now, who will it tell the faith? They will tell us something. They will tell us something. Amen. And another element, they need to be living a prosperous life. I didn't talk about spiritual life. Spiritually impactful. So that means they need to be prayerful. They need to know the word. I mean, now when you ask a person, please read the book of Psalm 23. He's busy searching around Revelation. You are looking for Psalm 23. It is because, you know, we went to all the camps and everything and whatever, but we have left the element of spirituality, prayer, the word. We left it out. But then when we do, let's also not only focus on it as the only thing. Let us know this person needs to get married and will pay lobola. Where will they get money? That is why you have got people coming here when they have to get married. They pray the whole year in fasting, hoping God for manna to drop so they can have money for lobola. But imagine if we have taught them how to. make that money. Because we need somebody that will lead a prosperous life. Somebody that will be spiritually significant and impactful. And number 7, someone that discover the reason of their existence on the earth. Purpose discovery. So what did we say? Number 1, you need to be economically participating. Number 2, what did we say? Socially vibrant. Number 3, what did we say? Relationally sound. Number 4, spiritually impactful. Number 5, maritally functional. Number 6, the prosperous life. Number 7, you need to know your purpose. And this is the challenge of all of us that are going to be in youth leadership. Because somebody needs to know themselves. I always say, before you think about marriage and all those things, who are you? Because your purpose has got greater bearing on whether you will be happy or not happy. I'll give an example. An eagle enjoys life in the air. It is made to be there. But then it gets married to a fish that enjoys life in the water. The two people, they are both excellent. If you go to the waters, you look at the fish, it will show you skills you think somebody can down to train it. It is excellent in the water. You look at the eagle doing its things, focusing with that sharp vision, coming down uninterrupted. You know that the eagle is the bird king, in the kingdom of birds. But if the two get married, the fish will say, come, be with me in the water. The eagle say, I will drown. Then the eagle say, fish, come, let's go. I want to cruise with you in the skies. And say, no, out of the water I suffocate. I'm going to die. So we always need to live between air, water, water, air, water. We always balancing because we did not get the fundamentals right. So when you know yourself, you know I live in the air, I can exist with the people that can live in the air because we socialize in the air. Now Hannah, for example, you're married to me. I'm always preaching. Monday I'm here, Tuesday I'm there, Wednesday I'm there, Thursday I'm there, Friday I'm there, Saturday I'm here, Sunday I'm there. And if I'm not there, I'm preparing a sermon. If I'm not preparing a sermon, I'm praying for a sermon. If I'm not praying for a sermon and whatever, then we say, no, Mara, this guy doesn't love me. He's always busy with the things of God. If the purpose of the other person find itself to be helping this kind of purpose, then automatically it goes. I don't want to waste time on this. Let me go back to this. So these are just words, few things that I'm going to say as we get. Please listen to me very carefully. This is just an additional nugget into what I've come here to talk to us. Listen to each line, it will help you in your lifetime. Your first salary speaks volumes. It set a pace either for wealth or struggle or poverty. The first salary that you get in this stage as youth, it's very, very important. Or the salaries that you made as a young person, they define your financial profile for the next 20 years. Some of us, we are battling the debts that we entered when we started to work, and nobody told us debt is bad, especially if you don't know the difference between credit and debit. If you don't know what is credit and debit, never take debt unless you are counseled by somebody that is financially sound and understand finances. If you can take debt, People end up even going into depression or divorcing and whatever because of money matters. Seek counsel in the beginning and in the early stages of your life. It's not yet too late to know how to relate with money. If you relate with money well, I'll give an example that I never forget. Tina, when we finished our varsity days, I remember I looked at 3 or 4 guys. I bought Audi A4. One guy bought Mercedes C-Class. The other one bought a BMW and a Honda. The other one bought a Beetle, Cooper, Mini Cooper. So we packed them, 4 of them, and we were like guys that are in style, You have not yet bought it. Buy it, and as a young person, pack your own Audi there. Oh, you feel like your assistant bought. I'm telling you. So the 5th guy that was part of our group bought a deep truck, Matipa. We never laughed at that guy like that. We never. And he was taking a taxi, going to work with a taxi, coming back with a taxi. So if we wanted to meet for breakfast, we will not choose a place in town because he could walk. We will say Men Lane breakfast. Then he will say, guys, but you know whatever. Say, no, that's your choice. Rena, Mac and B, Men Lane, 8 o'clock. He said, but that time the taxi said, that's your choice. He continued with that truck. Then he bought a TLB, this one that we used to dig. And he kept on taking the taxi. And we are going down because we have got another account in Markham's, another one in Woolworths. Woolworths account is too dangerous, more than all other accounts. I'm telling you, Woolworths account is too dangerous. You know why? It gives you access to meat, cold drink, bread, and clothes. At least Markham's, you can only swipe clothes. But in Woolworths, you can enter and find that thick steak and chicken and what, and you just throw into the trolley and you swipe, you leave. Hey, the day of payment is coming. Money makes a drive-through in your account. And you look at it, it enter here, it pass through in 1 minute. And you always live in that credit. And even the petrol that we're using was a credit card. Because I was a challenge. You just have access to in-depth yourself. It took some of us more than 15 years to get delivered from the eras of youth financially. Her status doesn't pay. I'm telling you. Status, you can't build a room mola where you have a status. Status is very dangerous because if we're going to church and we pack that Audi there and come here, you are not written or driving Audi. Whether we all look alike. Don't die for an image of money when you are poor. Accept you are poor and build to change that permanently. Your attitude towards money in the early stage of your career is very critical. Free tip for you. Learn to invest at a very young age. Don't just swallow. Take a portion of your money, put it into things that appreciate, that grow, that increase. The gentleman who bought the deep truck, the TLB, when we finished to pay our first cars, mine was A4, then the second one was Beamer. You know Beamer? BMW. It changes your attitude when you get into that car. Or drive it, you'll know. Those guys are 80. What's another change? Kolonyana tshitshi nthono to bona o ka ra se selo mo tsele. E rari ye. Ntela, o tsena mo N1. Keep right. Flash the lights. So my second car was a BMW, Anaconda. It's hard to say, brand new. Yeah, already Papa Mulano no feel already the party. Yeah, get Jana Ponyano for Mopore. They were not for party, the gun names. Hey, William, thank you for deliverance. Then that guy bought another deep trap. Hey, I don't remember debts. Towards finishing our cars, he bought Mercedes-Benz S-Class cash. He signed one document. You know when you buy a car cash, you sign one document. If you buy installment, you sign maybe 100 times. Initial every page, this box sign. Initial box sign. When you buy cash, you are not at their mess. Everybody say, how are you? Let's say, say, how are you? Say, I'm fine. But no, would you like cappuccino, chai, or only choice? Well, no, do you have chai? Barry, what? Well, no, not 5 roses. Chai. But no, say, we don't have it, but we can make a plan. Say, I give you 10 minutes, please make that plan. They will bring it here. And what's enough for Pale, well, you won't charity, but sign there. Sign and you walk out. With that credit thing, man, you will sign until the fingers start to itch. That guy went and he bought one Mercedes-Benz latest. Above all our Mercedes, above all our cars. He bought it cash. And check this. When he bought that cash, the things that he invested in were still making the same money, although he's driving a Mercedes-Benz. Tina, we kept status. Yena, he didn't have status. He built that wealth. He invested at an early age. When we still said he bought that thing, he now started a big firm for bricks, first bricks. Before we finish paying our installment, he now bought a big house, cash. But he looked like he was a failure and irrelevant initially. Rather look as stupid in the eyes of people, knowing what you're doing in the background. Yeah. Don't die for the image. Yeah. Number 3, prioritize personal development over marriage. Amen. Sex, I feel. You know about sex, sex, I feel. Take your time, develop yourself. Many young people will destroy our lives by marriage. Now you need to ask permission to go to school. They say, when a man goes to school? When enough. Am I not providing? I give Ushota. Where you want to go to school? Ushota. Tell me Ushota Nkureke. You will intercede wrong intercessions and pray wrong prayers. Because Ujaiti Linyalo. Linyalo can be late. Take your time. Develop, prioritize personal development over marriage. But don't be oblivious of age. Don't just ignorantly continue. You know, don't just get married. I'm gonna talk about the age zone of marriage and things. Yeah, we're still gonna take extra 30 minutes. I'll talk about those things. But listen to me. Work out your life. Develop yourself. Don't rush for marriage. One day, I had a conversation with a person who came from honeymoon on Monday. And he called, we had a conversation Monday evening. I said, you must be the happiest person on the earth. He said, I wish I was single. I said, what? He said, I wish I was single. I said, you only have hours married. You wish you were single. You see what we're talking about? But we choose to start Karamukuku. Mudimu afaba bangor batome kara RDP is the choice we make. Mudimu afaba bangor batome kara 3-bedroom house is a choice we make. Mudimu afaba bangor batome kara double story. It's that if you manage your youth zone well and prioritize personal development, the system that works in the age we live, we no longer pay for muscle, we pay for skill that is exceptional, and we pay for brains. Take time to build your brains. Take time to develop yourself. I say truly certificates as well. And I'm not saying only people with certificates should get married. Some people, they are good in hands, they can make a living out of hands. But do something. Let marriage not be, you are still 18, but you dream about marriage every day. Dream first about how to develop myself. Be something. Tonight, check out the statistics, women and men that are abused. More than 80% of women that are beaten, kicked and all are economically dependent solely on their husband. Without money, you have no voice as a woman. Did you hear me, sisters? Yes. Without money, you have got no voice in your marriage. You are a person. In a good way, but you're a person. Number 3, never make permanent decision in response to temporal situation. But how do statement PowerPoints, what do you say PowerPoint? That is why we take a PowerPoint. Around PowerPoint. These things are experiences of more than 20 years. Some of the mistakes that we are correcting in helping others that are coming after us. This is not just who. It's not a nice English. It's a life lived. So I'm sharing you most of the things I personally experienced. Let me repeat. Never make permanent decision in response to temporal situation. There is sexual tension now. You solve it wrongly. But the consequences of that method of solving remains with you for a lifetime. By the way, you were solving sexual tension of now, but you made a permanent outcome out of a temporal thing. Be wise. Don't solve a temporal situation by permanent means. Be wise. Be wise. Number 5. Sex is not the most important thing in life. It sent many to their early graves. Before you get married, you think it's all about sex. Those that are married forget what is sex. Before you get married, all what preoccupy you is, I will go to Durban, have sex in Durban, go to Malawi. It's all about sex. That is why you don't even develop yourself. All you are thinking is sex. I refuse that we will produce a youth who will specialize in washing people's cars. Let them wash it out of just the love of washing a car. Not because you are forced by circumstances. Let it be you who pack the car and others wash it. Why do you always want to be on that side? Why don't you say, I will have my Lambo and somebody will wash it? It's a choice, isn't it? So, at the youth stage, I want to tell you, biologically, that is where, isn't that from when you step into puberty, close to going to 13 or 14, somewhere in between those ages. That's where hormones start to be active and released in the blood, and you start to see changes biologically in your body, and go into 14, 15, and then development start to even show outside, breast come out, voice start to change, Those are normal biological processes of growth. Ne? Then you get into 20, 21, 22, somewhere there, the blood is running hot and all. It's normal. And you hear a person say, if you don't have sex, Maria or Chablato. You know what was stroke? Ne? They wish or Maria Bonaga Chablato. Because stroke means cut of blood flow to the brain. Whenever you need more blood in the head than you need it anywhere. So if sex will make me to have blood running up, then let it be, because I need more here. This is the center of life. Don't sell your life because of sex. Decisions made in youth stage will affect the next 2 to 4 decades of your life. Sometimes, unfortunately, even the rest of your life. The decisions we make when we are young people. You know, for example, as junior youth, you feel so excited to say, I'm in a school school. Hey, when you get to the other side of life, of 30, going to 40, you realize the decision you made as a young person. You could still have said, sorry, I'm going to school. If need be, to work during the day and study with UNISA, let it be. If be that I make my mistake, but I'm not going to leave a mistake of mistakes that I made in today. Let me make something. Because the decisions that you make now as youth, they will be with you for the rest of your life. Or maybe sometimes for a decade, on the next decade, that is what is going to be with you. Make sure when choosing a life partner, deny to taste hell while still on the earth. Pray and watch. But tested the hell. Balomole fasting. Actually, say by Kalina. Nobody forces you to marry. Whoever you don't want to marry, it's your choice. I mean, Mutu Bechagat La Palisa Gara Kochi. Oh, no, Papa, sorry, oh, Bechagat La Palisa Gara Kochi. When you get married, oh, Bechakamara wants to. When you make a decision of who to marry, make sure you are not signing a license to live in hell on earth. Rather a happy single life than a horrible married life. Rather be happy as a single person than to live in misery as a married person. Don't marry for the ring. People who marry forget it at home. Take debt only when you are financially literate. I talked about this. Financial literacy means you know the difference between credit and debit. If you don't know this, stay away from debt, or unless if it is through counseling. Choose friends wisely. Your life becomes the sum average of 5 people you speak to weekly. If you check every person, anyone who achieved anything in their life, look at 5 people that they talk to on a daily basis. They will become some average of the people, because the ideas that you think you talk, provoke and all, revolve around all the people that you talk to in a week. That is why effective people are selective. Effective people are selective. Choose friends wisely. Don't do people favor in becoming their friend. Some of them you call them your best friend, but they are not your best friend. You call this bottle my best friend, but this bottle called the water best friend. No, I was just passing, I'm not saying anything. Guard your reputation, live a life of integrity. A good name is better than riches. You will be rewarded for a name, not any other thing. Your name opened doors or closed doors for you. So, Bakabamdi, lead a life of integrity, build a life of good reputation. Remember, a good name is better than riches. Your name will help you to be connected or disconnected, to be remembered or forgotten. This is our youth structure. You won't see it, it's too small there. But what is important is our youth. So the reason I've put all this here, this is the church council, definitely. This is the pastoral office. This is our pastors. This is men's ministry. This is youth, women's ministry, media, so intercession, ushering, and all these kind of departments. The reason I have them there is because it is not enough being a member. Somebody need to be a member who participates. You see, in your body, it is not just a hand as a member of my body, but it helps me to carry. Once you become a member of a body, you must find your function, or else you will fight the foot. You will want to walk because you are membered, but you don't know your function. So every member, like I'm saying, the reason I listed all the departments that are here, it is simply because we want everyone to participate. Let me just read them from the screen so that you can, or let me try to see if I cannot do this. I hope it's becoming better. It's gone.